through all of this. You told me that you loved me so much, but now we're here, and I can barely breathe. Inside my head, I pulled apart all the pieces to only see I've always wanted you. So let's take this time to feel it all, no lies. 'Cause if we don't, the fight will eat the life. Stuck in self-destruct, and we can't wake up. Don't wanna give it away. Can't make me give it away. Don't eat the life. Don't eat the Don't eat the I know we're scared, and every day feels like a bad day. My biggest fear is you will walk away. The battle's here, and I'm standing in the fire. So take my hand, and we will stay alive. So let's take this time to feel it all, no lies. 'Cause if we don't, the fight will eat the life. Stuck in self-destruct, and we can't wake up. Don't wanna give it away. Can't make me give it away. Don't eat the Don't eat the Don't eat the Don't eat the Don't eat the
Hello everyone, and welcome to Myles Dyer Live, where every Wednesday we hang out to talk about all sorts, from the fun to the not so fun. Maybe that's not how we should describe it. From the fun to the serious. Or does that sound too downbeat and serious? I don't know. But what I am sure about is that it's Wednesday. It's 9 p.m. here in the UK. It is 1 p.m. if you're on the Pacific coast in the States. And it is 4 p.m. if you're on the Eastern coast in the US. And if you're on Central European time, it is 10 p.m. I'm going to stop listing off other time zones because it also might be a completely different time if you're watching this on replay. But hello to everyone. I hope you are doing well this October. Getting into the spooky season more and more. Maybe watching some horror movies. Maybe playing some horror games. Or maybe you're just staying well away from all of it. Last week we talked all about greatest fears, and we started ranking them. I don't know if any of you had a chance to go through it after the show, but it was a really fun discussion. And I just kept finding myself I felt myself moving towards other horror topics for the show this week. But I was like, next week will be Halloween Eve. I think Halloween the 31st, it's going to be on the Thursday. So, yeah. We'll have to do something super Halloween-y, maybe a Halloween-y quiz or something. It is the last show of the month, so it's a Q&A, so maybe it is just a Q&A free-for-all, but I have no idea. Siago Guitarra says, I've been slightly obsessed with No Man's Sky. Well, depending on what planets you go to, in that game. It could be quite Halloweeny, actually, so that works. But before we get cracking on with main housekeeping, I just want to say a massive hello to everyone in the chat. And as I say hello, do hit the like button. Helps me out. Massive hello to Callie Timecat, who says, Happy Hallow Wednesday -1 week. Massive hello to Mojo. Good to see you here. Hello, Karina. Hello, Ciago Guitarist. Clem Fandango. Hello to you. We got Varglesoft. Hello. Canic Tunes giving me another time in Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, and NYC, 4 p.m. on the Eastern time. Scrolling up, David VR, hello to you, and just hello to everyone. Lots of discussions also about today's topic, which is, I always used to call it as a kid, choose your own ending, because I thought that's what it was, but it's like choose your own adventure is the official terminology of the book, where, for those that aren't aware of this, it's the books where you would read the beginning and then it gives you some choices, and it says, if you do this, turn to this page. If you do this, turn to this page. And there were different ways for the story to end. It might be a short one. If I assume all the time it's because your character has come to some kind of demise, or it lasts longer if there are ways to get to the end. And so today we are going to do an interactive one live using, obviously, generative AI. This was something we actually tested over a year ago on the show, but it was just like one of many things we were trying with it, talking about how generative AI can be used. But the problem back then was it got quite repetitive very quickly. It was like, do you want to hide? Do you want to, it was trying to hide away from a monster. Do you want to hide in the park? And then you're like, do you want to wait in the park? Do you want to wait a bit more in the park? And it was very, very boring. Things have come a long way, and I've actually found a ChatGPT about choose your own adventures, which we're going to try. And before we jump into it as well, I'm just going to throw it out there for us to decide who our character is, what the situation is, and we're just going to have some fun. But before we get to all that, and before I talk a bit about like choose your own adventure books, which I was a massive fan of as a kid, bit of housekeeping. After I just say a massive thank you to who has just done some gifting. Oh, it's Mojo. Mojo with almost every week. Thank you. Double round of applause there. Thank you so much. Very, very kind of you. Fills you up. Fills you up. I like that. That's a good name. Welcome to the membership. We got Lex. Welcome to the membership. We've got Mischievous Marcio, the Underground Game Cat. Welcome to the club. Mojo, make it rain again. Yeah. Time to play VR. Good to have you here. And Shapeshifter, the Anomaly Game Cat as well. Honestly, Mojo, thank you so, so much. And hello to DJ Jennison in the chat. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. All right. Housekeeping. We'll be very, very quick with this because, well, I'll get to it in a moment, won't I? If you like the music you hear at the start of the show, Myles Dyer Live, music on Spotify. Check out the playlist. Use the QR code. It is all there. Also, Tozo, who was the artist of last week's song, he actually commented on last week's live show with a massive thank you for playing the music. And he did actually follow up with a message telling me about because I was saying I didn't know what the voices in the music were saying, and he actually gave the background to it, which I wish I could pull it up. Let me see if I can find it in a minute after I've done all this. Please join our Empathy Arcade Discord. Next Wednesday, we will hang out in the voice chat afterwards. Do remind me of it during the show, because it's always good to have a hangout on the last Wednesday of the month. I think that's a nice thing we can do together. But in the meantime, check out the Discord. Also, become a member, like Mojo shows, for the price of less than a coffee a month. You can unlock all the emojis and badges, and we need to get some new emojis, I think. Maybe we need a Halloweeny one. I mean, it'll be pretty hard to create that quickly, but that is definitely something we should look into. Quest for Empathy merch store. Again, nothing for Halloween. I just, oh man, this year has just been quite something, but that is definitely something I want to look into. And Let's Plays. Every single PSVR 2 game, I am starting gradually to start live streaming games again. And yeah, I'm going to be live streaming after this show. So in about an hour and 20 minutes time. Basically, when this show is over, I'm going to take my computer downstairs into my studio, my VR studio, and then get set up. And although it is set for 10:30 p.m. UK time, if I get to it earlier, we'll start a bit earlier. Oh, you can tell I'm tired, can't you? So, the question is, what is the game? Well, today I received through the post this little bag from Dreams. And for those that are not familiar with Dreams, they have made great games like Fract. They've made great games like Synapse. They're based in Guildford or Farnborough, just down the road from me. I've been to their studio. I love Dreams and everything they do, and they always make really good merchandise. You'll see me often wearing the Synapse hoodie that I wish they sold because they're so comfy and they look so great. But yeah, they sent me this little goodie bag for the game that I will be live streaming. So they've obviously given me the game key, Vendetta Forever. Now, I think this was the game that I had a chance to play it early, and I've just been so busy that I haven't. I know that that's also been the case with Frenzies, another game they're doing that I'm super excited about. But I did get to play it a bit at Gamescom for like 10 minutes, and I was pretty exhausted at the time. And I was absolutely terrible at the game. So hopefully this time, in the comfort of my own studio, I'll be playing a bit better. So yeah, Vendetta Forever. Here's the goodie bag. Gonna open it up, but before I do, I just want to scroll down and just catch up with the chat and see. Can we get a Karina emoji? Yeah, we'll just grab that photo and just put it as an emoji. Clem. We all lost the game. I haven't lost the game in forever. I haven't lost the game in I might say even 10 years. So good going there. Well done. Lots of thanks going to Mojo for that. Nick says, there's more Dreams merch that I don't have. We'll find out in a moment. Yeah, there's a lot of titles to follow up on. There's actually a sale on the PSVR 2 store. Or PlayStation Store, and there's a few really small games that are probably questionable that were a couple of dollars each, down from $8. So I just bought them all because they're kind of the sort of devs that I don't think I'm going to have much chance of getting a key, and yeah, it should be interesting. So anyway, here's the bag. Do I just grab it all out? Well, we've got this, and can hear some badges. Oh, one fell down. Okay, so my guess is that these 3 icons, because there's 3 badges, I bet it's going to be them. And that's not... Oh, I've literally just stabbed them. I just stabbed myself with the pin. The pin was hanging off my finger. That would have been a great promo for Dreams. Yeah, stabbed Myles. So we got this one. Look at that. Nice. We got this one. And I assume when we go into the game, we're going to know what these mean. Because as I said, I only played 10 minutes. And yeah. So I assume these are modifiers, maybe. Or maybe that's how many kills you've got in-game. That is going to be progress to the next level. Or is it replay? I could be completely wrong with this. These might not mean anything. And then I know this is the action in the game. So you're basically juggling guns. When you kill someone, you take their weapon and use it to kill the next person and so on. So maybe these aren't icons in the game. Something else they've given, and the thing is, when you do merch for influencers and creators and everything, or for events, it's always difficult because notebooks, for example, I love notebooks, but so many notebooks get used at events and people don't know what to do with them. But a pencil, I use this pencil, which is super old. What does it even say on it? Oh, yellow pencil. It's nice to have that explained, right? Yellow pencil. By the way, this camera, I love. That zoom in is awesome. The quality of it is great. But this one they've given me, look at this. I mean, it is a yellow pencil, but it has written on it, Vendetta Forever. Look at that. Oh, stay there. Super cool with the icons on it. So there we go. So I look forward to using that pencil. And now I've got this. There's something in here. I don't know what it is. I'm unwrapping it. It's in a t-shirt. So this t-shirt I'm gonna have to wear for the live stream, aren't I? Oh wow. Okay, that is cool. It is. I assume it's the soundtrack, the original soundtrack demo by AO2. Look at that. Side A and side B. Look at that. That's awesome, right? And there we go. I think I have a cassette player in my attic. That's super cool. That is super cool. Or I can scan the QR code for a digital download that's in there. That's really cool. That's super nice. Alien Romulus have just announced that they're going to be releasing Alien Romulus on VHS. Have you seen that? Let me find it on here on the screen. And let me just... Here we go. Here he is. Look at that. That's it. Not to take away from what Endreams have sent me. What they've sent me is awesome. I'm just sort of saying in parity, like, this kind of stuff is amazing. Yeah, look at that. I love this stuff. I love this kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that's so cool. So yeah, massive love to Endreams for that. That is such a cool idea. I mean, this will be going. So many items in the background now that you kind of try and pick up on, although it is a bit blurred in the background for the most part. But yeah, that'll be going there. Now let's have a look at the shirt. I have no idea what this shirt looks like. Oh, I was wondering if it was going to be white. I was like, are they going to go with red? That is awesome. So yeah, I will be wearing this on the live stream. Or do you know what? I should wear this now, right? I should wear it now. All right, be right back. 1 second. Let me just put on some nice little. There we go. It's a nice shirt. I like it, and it's comfy material. Good work. I'll be wearing that on the live stream later. So yeah, thank you Endreams for sending me those goodies. Always appreciate good goodies. Always like goodies of the good variety, so they live up to the name. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I look forward to playing the game later. Endreams is a studio that I have just a lot of love for. Like a lot of studios, always full of really nice creative people, but Endreams, I think, being local to me as well. And Nathan, who runs their influencers and community managers and that, really nice guy, and always a pleasure chatting with him. So thank you for sorting me out with that. Yeah, so in just over an hour's time, I will be jumping on the game, and you get to watch me flail my arms about and potentially make a fool of myself. So we will have to wait and see there. What is this ancient technology? The T-shirt? No, it's super cool, right? And yes, the pencil makes sense now with the cassette. I didn't even think about that. That's really great. And I like the idea that there'll be some people like, what? What's that about? What's that about? I thought there would be a memory card in the cassette box. Yeah, other people saying pencil is to rewind the tape. Yeah. My first cassette must have been Britney Spears, Karina says. I'm trying to think what mine would have been. I know my dad used to have a radio in his garage that had like a recorder on it, so you could record music from off the radio, because that's what you did. Pythagoras says, but people are still releasing physical books for some reason. I love physical books. Yeah, I love them. It's not too big for me. I mean, it is a bit like I think I asked for medium, but it's always hard to tell with these. But I mean, it feels comfy. Feels comfy. So yeah. Also, I tell you what, trying to put a shirt on, knowing that I'm going back on a live stream, made it just take so much longer to do than normal. There's some really unnecessary pressure that comes with it. Chrome Colossus says, I found Romulus, as in Alien Romulus, to be a forgettable film with a few okay moments. I didn't hate it, but it was pretty not compelling to me. I'm a huge fan of the OG first film. I had a really good time with Alien Romulus. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I felt like it was like an Alien greatest hits movie, so it was great in that sense. I had a really, really good time with it. It was solid, but yeah, it doesn't come close to like the original. This would have been great striptease music. You were fully expecting him to go back into that closet. There's not enough room for that. I would have like fallen and hurt myself. First of many outfit changes. No, not today. Not today. Right. God. Catching up with the chat. All right, people. So, something I haven't talked about that we normally do at the start of the show is we like to talk about this, the weekly puzzle. I haven't shared it in the chat, so I'm just going to type the link in there. Every week on the main shows, we do a puzzle where you just click and you can swap stuff around, and it's so that you can... let's have a look here. When it goes green, it means it's in the right place. And oh man, I'm really going to struggle with this. I bet you there's some of you that know roughly where it goes every week, exactly where it is. Because I am definitely not doing good at this. Oh, some of you are switching around at the moment. All right, so have a go. It's a 300-piece puzzle. Good luck with it. I will let you get on with that. Okay, people. So today I wanted to talk about choose your own adventure books. So firstly, just curious to know, how many of you have ever played or read a choose your own adventure book? And are there any of you that have never heard of that before? For those that don't know, I've already explained it already. A choose your own adventure book is a written book where sections of the story are broken up and randomized throughout the pages. And so you can get up to moments where you get to make a decision. And if you choose one decision, you go to one page. And if you choose another, you go to another page. And I think my first one I had was when I was a kid. And it was a Sonic the Hedgehog one. And I actually looked up the cover here. This is the book. I have it somewhere still. Sonic the Hedgehog Adventure Game Book 1. And it was called Metal City Mayhem by James Wallace. And I remember I used to have a pen or a pencil and paper. And I used to have to note how many rings Sonic had. Because with certain decisions, you had to, you lost so many rings, you weren't able to claim any back. And I absolutely loved this. I absolutely loved it. I don't think I ever completed it, if that was even such a thing. I think it got to the point. The book was as worn as it looks here as well back then, just because you're constantly flicking through the pages. But then when I used to go to the States to Disneyland on family holidays like 25 years ago, Goosebumps books I loved. And they started doing choosing your own adventure ones. And I loved that this is probably a nice problem for a parent to have. But my mum had to get me to stop spending all my money on books because I love reading them. And this was one that I remembered, Beware of the Purple Peanut Butter. It's such just typical creepy Goosebumps. But let's see if we can... God, they do sell them still. More than 20 different endings. I remember this. So yeah, Reader Beware. Because it used to be Reader Beware, You're In for a Scare, right? By R.L. Stein. but actually it's reader beware, you choose the scare. And there we go. R.L. Stein. Oh, and they got loads of them here. Escape from the Carnival's Horrors. This was the first one. I don't know how many there were. I bought so many. So many. But yeah, those were my experiences of it. But yeah, it was technically old time gaming, wasn't it? Yeah. Mojo says, does anyone remember Animorphs? I still have a few of those books. Animorphs, I'm having a look. Oh, it does look familiar. Will they choose your own endings? Yeah, I do remember seeing these. Oh, it's Scholastic as well. Will these choose your own endings as well? I never read them, but I definitely recognise the cover. The cover's there. Let's have a look. Yeah, these books were a bit like D&D Solitaire. I like that. That's a really cool way of putting it. Lumberjack J94 says, introduce these to my kids when they started to read. Dungeon ones, they love them. I think it's a really great way to get kids into reading, because it's about when you have autonomy and control, you're not just, there's less risk of just passively reading and getting bored, because you're like, oh, I get to make the next decision. What's it going to be? Let's have a look here. Did you ever have a Scholastic in the UK? No. I don't think so. I think I only remember them from, because actually Goosebumps books, publisher UK. Who was the publisher in the UK? Oh, it was Scholastic Hippo. Okay, so it must have been a different icon. I'm having a look on the wiki to see if there's any book covers and stuff, but I can't really see it at the moment. So yeah, there you go. There we go. Yeah, it's like all things, like movie covers and everything. Like the UK had different covers, which was good for artists, wasn't it, to make more money? So yeah. Vargolsoft says, first choose your own adventure book would have been one of the fighting fantasy books. I think The Warlock of Firetop Mountain. They were quite trendy for a while back in the very early 80s. So yeah, I assume a lot of them did start with like the Dungeons and Dragons style, right? All the fantasy pieces. But it's nice that they could spread out and go into other pieces as well. So, as I mentioned, what I thought we could do is have some fun with our own choose your own ending story. And so what I've got here is I've got set up on ChatGPT. There is actually, I've got a choose your own adventure ChatGPT. I'm looking at the about. It's had some good ratings. It doesn't say how many ratings, but mostly 5 stars. Oh, no, maybe it does say there. You can't see this at the moment. Okay, it's only had 9 ratings. Okay. But we're going to give it a try. So, I guess what we need to do is I'm going to basically put polls in the chat so people can be helping with the decision making on what we're going to be going with. But we need to sort of set up the intro of like what the situation's going to be. Yeah, Callie. Well, ChatGPT does whatever you ask it, really, and yeah, people can create their own chatbots on it. So we're going to give this a go. We tried it about a year ago, and it had very limited results, but it's come a long way now. So hopefully, it's going to be a lot better. So we'll find out. This, as I put in the description of this video, this could end terribly. This could be a really horrible idea that doesn't do well at all, or it could be great. So, to begin with, what genre of choose your own adventure do we want this to be? Do we want it to be an adventure, an actual adventure? Do we want it to be horror? Do we want it to be fantasy? Do we want it to be crime? Everyone just type a genre in the chat, and then I'm just going to pick one based on what everyone's saying. And I'm going to get some nice little background music going. Actually, let's go with Flutter like this. Yeah, something a bit more curiosity based. Right, what have we got? Okay. I see Thriller twice and then I realise it's Mojo saying it twice, which doesn't count. God, some of you are hilarious. All right. Okay, so I'm going to ask it. I'm going to say, please create a choose your own adventure story that my friends and I can play along to. Make the choices between 2 to 4 each time, as I can run a poll for them to decide on the next choice. Okay, and then who's our character? We're going to do a thriller horror. Here is some requirements for the story. Genre, thriller, horror. Setting. Psycho thriller. Okay, right. I'm gonna, just because this is gonna take a while probably to get everyone to do it. I'm just gonna, right. I've had library come up. That was good. Library. Cool. And then who's the hero? Who are we? Who are we? Are we even a human? Could we be a dog? I'm gonna say sitting on the Goosebumps thing. A teenager. I'm going to say a teenager. Someone said squirrel. Eye cells. I'm going to say a teenager. Cool. And then I'm going to put like inventory. What do we have on our inventory? So a wallet, cell phone, and money. 100 HP. So we got hit points. We got hit points on this. Okay, so it's a thriller horror. The setting is a library. Hero is a teenager. Inventory is a wallet, cell phone, and money. And the HP it's 100 HP. Please make sure this kicks off with an exciting scenario and let it go places that are surprising, tense, and will be engaging. The sections between each choice could be a simple paragraph or a whole chapter. All right, let's begin. Here we go, guys. Right, anyway. Okay, so right, you ready, people? This is, I can't share it on my screen because it's on my other browser, which I don't think I can share currently, annoyingly. So, actually, do you know what? I can bring it up on screen though, like this. This isn't the full section, okay? So we ready? Chapter 1, the Midnight Incident. So this was written just now. I have no idea how it's going to go, all right? So, it was supposed to be a simple evening. You and your friends had been studying late at the old library on Elm Street. Oh, how about that? The building was ancient, its towering shelves crammed with dusty tomes and forgotten manuscripts. The flickering fluorescent lights overhead added an eerie quality, but nothing too unsettling. At least, not until the clock struck midnight. Suddenly, there was a sharp click, and all the lights went out. The only source of light now came from your cell phone's faint glow. Your pulse quickened as you noticed something strange. The library's door, the one you'd come in through, was gone, replaced by a solid wall of books. You check your inventory, a wallet, cell phone, and a small amount of money. Nothing that could break you out of here. You shine your phone's flashlight down the endless maze of shelves. In the distance, you hear a book fall. The thud, or faint thud, echoing in the oppressive silence. A cold breeze passes through, though none of the windows are open. The next section is a voice, soft yet chilling, whispers your name from somewhere deep in the library. I don't know who your name is, but we're just going to go, name. Panic rises in your chest as you realise something is very, very wrong. You have to make your decision, people. We have to make our decision. So, what do we do? There are 4 choices here, and I'm going to put them up on screen. What do we do? What do we do? Do we investigate the fallen book? Number 2, do we follow the voice calling your name? Do we try to find a way out by searching for hidden doors or windows? Or do we use our cell phone for calling for help? There we go. The poll is up now in the chat. We'll go for 40 seconds. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Investigate the fallen book. Follow the voice calling your name. Try to find a way out by searching for hidden doors or windows, or use your cell phone to call for help. Karina says, why do you peeps call for help? That's boring. It's boring. Choose your own adventure stuff always forces you in one direction. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. Okay. I have ended it. Right. In last place was to try and find a way out. Then it was use your cell phone to call for help. Then it was investigate the fallen book. But the winner with 38% is to follow the voice calling your name. So I'm tapping that in. Number 2. Now this is when we find out if this is actually going to work good, because it might get really repetitive. Or it might get great. So should we find out? Here we go. Oh, this is quite a big section. Here we go. The voice calling your name is faint but unmistakable. You can't help but feel an icy chill running down your spine, but something compels you to follow it. Slowly, you weave through the towering bookshelves, your footsteps muffled by the worn carpet beneath your feet. The glow of your cell phone barely illuminates the narrow path in front of you, casting long shadows that seem to writhe in the darkness. Come closer, the voice whispers again, but it sounds different this time. Closer, more urgent. You hesitate for a moment, but curiosity pushes you forward. Suddenly, you reach the end of a long corridor, and standing there, illuminated in a shaft of pale moonlight from a high window, is a figure. Their back is turned to you, but they appear familiar, like someone you've seen before but can't quite place. As you take a step closer, the figure starts to turn around, but you freeze as the temperature drops even further, and the air seems to thicken with something unnatural. Your phone buzzes in your hand, startling you. You glance at the screen. It's a text message from an unknown number. The message simply reads, "Don't trust the voices. Run." You look back up to the figure, who is now fully facing you. Their face is hidden in shadow, but you can see their lips move as they whisper again, "Come with me." So, what? That's an excellent phone impression. Thank you very much. I'm here all week. So, people, we have another 4 choices to go with. What are we going to do? Number 1 is, and I know some of you are going to hate the first one, are we going to trust the message and run as fast as you can away from the figure? Do we approach the figure cautiously and ask them who they are? Do we ignore both the figure and the text and look for another path deeper into the library? Or do we text back the unknown number asking for more information? What do we do? Or, Siago says, do we offer them a Snickers bar? That is not one of the options we've been given. So what do we do, people? What do we do? Gonna give you a little bit of time. All right, people. I'm gonna end it. Last chance to get the votes in. Anyone watching this, by the way, on YouTube who's logged in can get involved. It's in the live chat. Should be at the top. All right, people, ending it there. You went with... Wow, 42% said text back the unknown number asking for more information. All right, let's do that. And let's see what happens. Chapter 3, The Unknown Messenger. I'll cut a bit off the top. Apologies. Chapter 3, The Unknown Messenger. Your fingers tremble as you quickly tap out a message in response to the unknown number. Who are you? What's happening? For a moment, there's only silence. That's normal, right? You glance up at the figure whose eerie stillness sends a shiver down your spine. Their head tilts ever so slightly, as if they're waiting for you to make your next move. Ding! Your phone buzzes with a reply. See how I didn't show you what the reply was straight away? I'm a friend. Get out now before it's too late. They're watching. The figure takes a slow, deliberate step forward. You take an instinctive step back, your heart pounding in your chest. As you begin typing another message, another buzz interrupts your thoughts. This time, a photo. You open it, and your blood runs cold. It's a picture of the library from a high angle, as if taken from one of the upper floors. In the image, you can see yourself standing exactly where you are right now, your phone in hand, staring at the figure. Before you can react, another message arrives. Ding. They know you're trying to escape. Don't let them get close. You have 60 seconds. Panic surges through you as you glance at the figure again. It remains hidden, but you can feel its cold presence. Now, just a few feet away. Every instinct screams for you to move. But where? The maze of bookshelves stretches on endlessly, and the exits are nowhere to be found. With 60 seconds, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to vote on this. What should you do? 1, run as fast as you can, back the way you came. 2, climb up the nearest bookshelf to reach higher ground and look for the person who took the photo. 3, confront the figure and demand answers despite the warnings. Or 4, call the unknown number and try and talk to them directly. This is like a Twilight Zone game. This is a lot better than what it used to do before. All right, and yeah, 60 seconds is very precise. All right, people, that's it. You've had your chance to vote. Last chance to get the votes in. We've got to be quick. And with over 50% of the vote, with 53%, you've gone for 2. Climb up the nearest bookshelf. So, there we go. Chapter 4, The Climb. The Climb. Oh, there's a lot here. I like this. That they actually is right. I said it could write a paragraph or it could write like proper chapters. With no time to waste, you make a split-second decision to climb up the nearest bookshelf. You leap onto the bottom shelf, grabbing onto the higher ledges with shaking hands. The books wobble dangerously beneath your weight, and for a moment, you fear the entire shelf might collapse. But you continue to pull yourself upward, higher and higher, until you're about halfway up the towering structure. The figure below doesn't seem to move. At least not quickly. But as you glance down, you see it slowly raising its hands toward you, fingers elongated unnaturally, like they're reaching out to pull you back down. The air around it distorts, as if reality itself is bending. You climb faster. As you near the top, you can finally see the entire layout of the library. Rows of bookshelves stretch endlessly, but something immediately catches your eye. A faint flicker of movement in the far corner of the room. Someone or something is moving up there, watching you from a shadowy alcove high above the shelves. It must be the person who sent the photo, but they remain hidden, their face shrouded in darkness. Suddenly, the bookshelf you're clinging to shudders violently. The figure below is now directly beneath you, its long, gnarled fingers scraping against the wood. The entire structure groans under the strain, and you feel it tilting, about to collapse. Another text buzzes through on your phone. There's a window ahead. Jump. You look across the top of the shelf and spot it, an open window just a few feet away, but it's a dangerous leap, and if you fall, you could get seriously hurt. Behind you, the bookshelf sways again, moments away from toppling. What will you do, people? What will you do? Just adding the poll in. Number 1, do you jump for the window and try to escape? Do you 2, stay where you are and confront the figure if it reaches you? 3, climb higher and try to get closer to the mysterious person in the shadows? Or 4, search the nearby shelves for anything useful before making your next move? What are we going to do, people? What are we going to do? Cool. Sorry, people. I'm just giving it some instructions on how to tweak the story. Not in terms of narratively, but just like I want it to end in the next 3 to 5 chapters. All right, people. You have chosen. Wow, no one went for 2. No one wants to go near the figure. 44% said number 1, jump for the window and try to escape. So, there we go. Wow, that responded super quickly to my request. Here we go. Chapter 5, The Leap into Madness. You ready? You barely hesitate. The bookshelf tilts dangerously, creaking under your weight and the unsettling presence below. You take one final breath and leap for the open window. Time seems to slow as you soar through the air, the cold night wind rushing in. For a terrifying second, you think you've misjudged the distance, but your fingers grasp the window frame just in time. With a grunt, you pull yourself through the window and crash onto a cold stone floor. Wait. The moment you hit the ground, you realise something is very wrong. Instead of landing outside the library, you're now in a completely different room. The air is heavy and damp, the smell of old wood and mildew surrounding you. The walls are lined with bookshelves, more bookshelves, just like the ones you've been trapped in earlier, except these are rotting, ancient. No windows, No doors. You stand dazed, trying to make sense of what just happened. This place feels wrong. Your phone buzzes again. The message reads, "You weren't supposed to jump." Your blood runs cold. Suddenly, the room shifts. The floor beneath you warps and stretches, and the books on the shelves begin to melt, dripping like wax. Reality itself seems to unravel. The bookshelves twist and contort, and in their place rise towering, shadowy figures. Figures with no faces, their forms flickering like a broken film reel. In the centre of the room stands the figure from before, but now it's different. Larger, more monstrous. Its face is still hidden, but you can feel its eyes on you, searing, burning. A sharp pain pulses through your skull, and as you reach up to your head, you feel something wet. Blood? No. You pull your hand away and realise it's ink. Ink is leaking from your body. You hear a voice, not from the figure, but from the walls themselves. It's deep, reverberating, and full of malice. This is where stories go to die. You've stepped into the narrative trap. Now choose. What's the choice going to be, people? We've only got 2 choices this time. What will you do? Do you, 1, surrender, let go of everything and become part of this twisted, unravelled story? Or 2, fight the narrative, tear yourself free from this reality warped in nightmare and search for an escape? All right, people, what do we think? Everyone's saying, fight the power. Let's explore this twisted rabbit hole. This is actually working out really well, isn't it? All right, people. Wow. Okay. Here we go, people. 73% said 2, fight the narrative. Fight the narrative. Here we go. Chapter 6, Breaking the Story. This is my outro music for my Let's Play, I think. Or want to do my Be Right Back. Chapter 6, Breaking the Story. You clench your fists, refusing to surrender to this twisted reality. The ink oozing from your skin is cold and slick, but something deep inside you rebels against becoming part of this nightmare. You can feel the narrative tugging at you, trying to pull you into its unravelling chaos, but you won't let it win. No, you growl under your breath. I'm not part of your story. The walls pulse, the ink-soaked figures shifting closer, the monstrous presence looming larger. The voice returns, booming from all sides. Fight all you want, but the story consumes everything. You can't escape the ink. Wow, this is a long section. Wow. This is a massive section. You focus, fighting the dizziness and the growing sense that your own thoughts are slipping out of your control. The figure in the centre, the one who had called your name, begins to flicker, like static breaking through a television signal. You realise it now. That figure is more than a presence. It's the story itself. Your phone buzzes one more time. Break the narrative. Look for the crack. The crack. Your mind races. You glance around the room, searching desperately for anything that could offer a way out, something that doesn't fit the story's dark logic. The shadowy figures advance, their forms stretching, ink dripping, as the room twists and bends. But then, there, you spot it. One book on the shelf remains solid, untouched by the melting ink. Its spine is pristine, gleaming. You lunge towards it, your hands trembling as you pull it from the shelf. The title reads, "The Beginning of the End." There's no author listed. The moment you open the book, the entire room begins to shake violently. The shadowy figures recoil, the monstrous figure in the centre spasms, and reality itself tears apart at the seams. The pages are blank, except for the first one, which reads, "This is not your story." Suddenly, a flood of memories rushes back to you. This isn't the first time you've been here. You've lived this night before, trapped in an endless loop. Every time you think you're escaping, every time you try a different path, the story pulls you back, rewriting itself. The mysterious text, the strange figure, the shifting library, it's all part of the same trap. And then it hits you. You're not the main character. You've been someone else's protagonist this whole time. Your choices, your fears, everything manipulated to fit their twisted narrative. The real puppet master isn't the figure or the ink-stained room, but the person who's been watching you all along, the one sending the texts. Wow, this is... Suddenly, a flash of insight blinds you. You pull out your phone, staring at the messages you've been receiving. One last time, you text back. "Who are you?" The reply comes instantly. "I'm you, and you've been writing this story all along." The ink on your hands thickens, rising like tendrils, but now you see the truth. The entire library is a manifestation of your mind. The figures, the voices, the shadowy beings, they're fragments of you. You wrote them into existence, trapped in a recursive story where the lines between author and character have blurred. I love this. I love all the comments in the chat. But there's one last choice. The book in your hand begins to dissolve, the words swirling into the air. The figure now towering over you flickers again, and you see flashes of faces, your friends, your past self, maybe even your future. If you destroy the book, you can break the loop, but at what cost? You'll lose everything, including your memories of this entire ordeal. Or you can continue the story endlessly, trapped in the ink, rewriting yourself over and over again, but aware this time of what's happening. The room shudders, the walls closing in, the ink rises higher. The final choice is yours, people. Are you ready for the final choice? The final choice is as follows. Do we destroy the book, break the cycle, and forget everything? Or do we keep the book, stay trapped, but take control of the narrative? Do we even have a choice? Do we even have a choice? All right, people. The votes are in. I like how more people are voting each time. People are getting more invested in this. Here we go. The votes are in. Oh, All right, people, with 60% of the votes, you voted to keep the book, stay trapped, but take control of the narrative. Here we go. Chapter 7 is called The Darkest Chapter. This is pretty meta. Here we go. Chapter 7, The Darkest Chapter. You clutch the book tighter, ink dripping from your fingers. The weight of your decision presses down on you, but instead of fear, a cold determination rises. You've been part of this story from the start. Manipulated, yes, but no longer powerless. You won't destroy the book. Instead, you'll keep it. If this is a trap, it's your trap now. You'll bend the narrative to your will. The room stops shaking. The figure looming above you halts, frozen mid-motion, like a puppet with its strings cut. The ink-soaked figures, the twisting shelves, all of it ceases to move. The oppressive air lifts, but only for a moment. You've made your choice. Control at any cost. With a deep breath, you open the book again, flipping through its blank pages. Slowly, words begin to form, swirling into place like smoke, written by some unseen hand. The inked letters bleed into one another, reshaping and twisting until the truth reveals itself. You are not escaping, you are writing. As the words take form, your phone buzzes one last time. You glance at the screen. Congratulations, you're the author now. Your heart skips a beat. The book begins to change in your hands. The cover fades, and instead, the name that now appears on the front is yours. You are the one who has been writing this story all along. Everything, the library, the figure, the text, they were never outside forces. They were fragments of you, the author, trying to break free from your own story. The shadowy figure, the monstrous presence. It was you, lost in the narrative you created. You feel a pull, not from the room, but from the very ink itself. It flows from the walls, the shelves, the book, seeping into your skin. The ink becomes part of you, and with it, the library, the endless maze, the distorted reality. It all bends to your will. The final twist hits you like a punch to the gut. You've been trapped in this loop because you created it. In your desperate attempt to escape, you only solidified your place in the story. And now as the ink settles and the room returns to its as the ink settles and the room returns to its eerie stillness, you realise the horrifying truth. You've become the story's new architect. Your consciousness spreads throughout the library, entwined within its walls, shelves and books. You have control, but at a terrible price. You'll never leave. You'll never truly escape. You look around, feeling the library pulse with your thoughts. The figure in the shadows is gone. No more text, no more warnings, just silence. You look around, feeling the library pulse with your thoughts. The figure in the shadows is gone. No more text, no more warnings, just silence. Sorry, I've just said that bit. Then, from deep within the shelves, you hear footsteps. The echo of new visitors entering the library. A group of teenagers laughing, unaware of what they're about to stumble into. You feel a chill as you recognise the pattern repeating itself. It begins again. Should we do one more choice? It's given us one. Do we lure them in, start a new story, or let them leave and break the cycle for good? What do we do? Oh, it's very close. It's neck and neck on this, actually. Vote. This is, yeah. One was winning, and now the other's taking the lead. Here we go. Either way, we are wrapping this up, but... Oh my god, it's 50-50 at the moment. All right, people. Ending it. And Pants says, why are you guys so evil? Why are you so evil? The result is with 56%, you've gone with 1. Wow. It went between. All right, people. I've asked it to wrap this up. So I've given it a few instructions with each answer of like where we want to be with stuff. Here we go. Oh wow, this is a final chapter. Here we go. Let's go through this and I'll have to wrap it up. Final chapter, the next victims. The echo of footsteps grows louder, closer. You feel the vibration of their steps through the floor, their laughter bouncing off the ancient walls. You can sense them now, almost taste their excitement and curiosity as they wander deeper into the labyrinth of bookshelves. They have no idea of what's waiting for them. From your new vantage point, everywhere and nowhere at once, you watch them enter the central hall, a group of teenagers, much like you and your friends once were. They're flipping through dusty books, chatting casually, oblivious to the trap they've just stepped into. You smirk. The power of the ink flows through you, whispering promises of control, of endless stories. You have all the time in the world to toy with them, to watch as they make their choices, just as you did. But this time, you're the one who decides the narrative. You can feel their lives like threads, waiting to be tugged, twisted, or cut. One of them, a girl with a curious gleam in her eye, spots a book lying open on a nearby table. She frowns and picks it up, the pages flickering under the dim light. Her eyes widen as she turns the page. She reads aloud, "This is not your story." Her voice trembles and suddenly the air in the room thickens. The other teens stop what they're doing, sensing the shift. The shadows grow longer, the bookshelves closing in. Their laughter dies in their throats. A cold breeze rustles the pages of the ancient books. The girl drops the book, her hand shaking. What is this place? One of them whispers, sorry. What is this place? One of them whispers. Fear creeping into their voice. The library answers. You want to make your move, to pull them deeper, to watch as they stumble through the maze, confused and terrified. But something stops you. A thrill, a hunger you can't deny. You want to see them suffer, to see them make choices that will only lead to the inevitable. You can almost hear the whispers again, the same ones that once called out to you. In a voice that sounds like the turning of old pages, you murmur from the walls, "Welcome. Let the story begin." Their eyes dart around the room, panic settling in as they realise something is terribly wrong. The doors have disappeared. The shelves are twisting, morphing, blocking their way. You watch as they huddle together, their fears growing, knowing you control their every step. You hover between the pages of reality and fiction, smiling to yourself. The ink of the library thrums through you, growing stronger. This time, the story is yours. And just as the first of them tries to run, desperately searching for a way out, the lights flicker and go dark. There we go, people. There we go. That was the story. Yeah. So there we go. We had how many chapters? We did 8 chapters. That was 8 chapters. So yeah. Yeah, that was the YouTube Premiere music, wasn't it? Yeah. It was interesting. You can definitely see the flaws that come with a ChatGPT thing. Like, you can see, like, knots it ties itself into, and it just speaks so confidently every step of the way. But there are interesting things that, you know, allow your own imagination to get within it. And I think that with more direction, you could do some really interesting things with it. So maybe this is something we should do again sometime. I'm not saying like every month or two, like maybe once a year or something like that. But yeah, I was pretty impressed. And obviously this is only going to get better over time. But listen, people, it is 8 minutes past the hour. I need to get set up downstairs for my next live stream. Something we always end with is Vitamin G, where we take a moment of our day to think about what we're grateful for. So, yeah, I invite you all to take a moment, think about things you're grateful for, and then you can share them in the chat. You also can keep them to yourself. That is absolutely fine. But yeah, I just invite you to talk about what you're grateful for. It could be a person, could be an experience, could be a thing. And because of time restrictions, I am going to just let them pop up during the final credits of this live stream. So, yeah, that is it. And also, not just Vitamin G, but any final thoughts you've got about that story. I'm seeing some of them come through now. I'll pop them up. But yeah, I'm wrapping this up just because I've got to get ready for the next live stream. But I want to say a massive thank you, everyone, for watching. Do hit the like button before you leave. And if you are new to this channel, do subscribe. Would love to see you again. I do this every Wednesday. We talk about all sorts, but we also do PSVR 2 Let's Plays as well. One of them coming up straight after this, where I will be playing Vendetta Forever. Should be interesting, should be interesting. Once again, massive thank you to Mojo for gifting the memberships. I'm grateful for all of you because you always make my weeks so much better. Love, respect, empathy, and adios. Till next time. See you in a bit.
On the road, I was chasing sunsets all alone. The darkness faded, painting goodbye, big sky. Far away, but dreaming of your ocean eyes.
All right, people, thank you so much for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. I am going to go get ready downstairs. Head on over to the next live stream. To be honest, I could just give you the link now so you can hang out in the chat there. Let's have a look. Here it is. There we go, people. Just put it in the chat. So if you go there, it's ready, the live chat. I'll see you over there. But yeah, just need to go get ready. I really should get some food. I don't want to order Deliveroo again, but I might have to do it. It's just been so busy. But yeah, thank you, everyone. Oh, and let's just see how you got on with the puzzle. Oh, look at that. So proud. So proud. So proud. Honestly, really good fun, people. I will see you in a little bit. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.